Okay, buckets, I'm filming.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. Okay, first of
I
all, we would like to know everything about you and your family because you're such an interesting person and your family heritage is so rich. You have some pictures that they're so old and from beginning of the 20th century. Beautiful. Can you please tell us how was growing up? You were born and raised in Pittsburgh, and how was that time when you were growing up? Can you describe through your family history a little bit about growing up in the United States before World War
I
II?
was very lucky that I had all of my cousins very close to me, and my grandparents. It was absolutely the best place to grow up, because you were like either related to everybody or else kumovi, or or they watched out for you. It was like a neighborhood watch. So you could never get into trouble because there was somebody always watching over your shoulder. Um, and and growing up being Serbian, I just loved it, loved it.
Let me just check if your mic is working. Wait,
Okay.
I think your mic is not working. Wait. Oh, now it's working.
Oh,
Let's start it again.
okay.
I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
the mic didn't work. Okay, let's talk about your family. Let's talk about your family history because I think it's extremely interesting for all of us to know a little bit more about you and how was growing up in the Pittsburgh area, and before World War II. Can you describe us how was the United States back then
Well, you
and
mean,
Serbian culture? I'm sorry, and
yeah.
Serbian culture as well.
I'm gonna start with World War II because I wasn't born till 1941. Okay, but uh, there's a lot of stuff to say about what happened over there in Yugoslavia with Draža Mihailovic and Tito and everything. We could talk about that, but let me go back a little bit earlier, and I have some pictures to show you, or should I show the camera?
Okay,
Yeah,
camera,
show.
please.
Okay, this
I'll
is
help you out.
this is
You
a
can.
picture of my mother, and she was born in 1918. She was the youngest of 10 children, but only 7 of them lived to survive.
Okay.
And here, this is a picture of my mother, my grandmother, and my Aunt Peep. And this is right across the street from the where they lived. And so you could see from the car, it's about 1937.
It's old Ford.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
This one is exciting for me. Um, I almost died at age 2.
Oh my God.
We didn't have in our store that we rented at South 27th Street. We lived above it, and we didn't have any heater. And I had double pneumonia, so I was in a hospital for 2 weeks. Um, uh, and what happened is that my mother put me at my grandmother's house because they had heat. It was much warmer there. And here, my grandfather was trying to melt the icicles that were on the house, set the house on fire. My mother came running around the corner. She rescued both me and my grandmother.
Beautiful.
And this is a picture of that store I was telling you about on South.
And that's you.
This is me right here, yes, at South 27th Street. And it was only half a block away from the main mill gate of Jones and Laughlin. Jones and Laughlin Steel uh, Corporation had almost everybody worked for them. Both of my grandparents and so many of my uncles worked there. My grandfather Nicola was a foreman though, um, uh, with the rollers. And then this is a picture of my cousin George, and this is me right here. My cousin Marty Ann, my Aunt Peep, my cousin Jules, my sister Rose, and my mom. And this is at my grandparents' house at 2716 Sarah Street. They rented out the first floor to the United Steelworkers of America. Uh, and here's another picture just like that. This time with me, my cousin Marty, and my cousin Ronnie, my grandfather, and we're sitting on this bench that I had even after he died years and years ago. This is Chad Wuchenich, not Chad, Bratzo Wuchenich right here. Okay. And then we moved to 2508 East Carson Street, and we were directly across in our store. The Carlos Confectionery was right across from the mill, and the mill gate was down one more block. This is me, my cousin Marty Ann, and our dog Shep. Shep went to California with us. Mm. And this is my grandfather, Samoilo Karailovich. He was a Union rebel rouser, but they still hired all his sons because he was such a good worker. So my Uncle Blackie, my Aunt Uncle Louie, Aunt Taraga, Aunt Ann, these two go together. Aunt Ruth, and my Aunt Taraga, she died young. Some other interesting pictures. This was just a little press card, but it belonged to Desanka Tarailo Mamula. Desanka was from Chicago. Mm-hmm. She married Johnny Mamula. She was the very first female lawyer in America, but here she was, a member of the American Serb Life staff. When my father had this wonderful magazine called American Serb Life from 1948.
Wow.
Okay. Another old one, and this is probably up at the cemetery. And this is my father.
St. George in Pittsburgh, or
no? I would think that this 1940. It might be St. George. It also could be Mejnar's farm. Mm. Georgette's grandparents had a big farm before they had the cemeteries.
Yeah,
the Brunilovich farm. Mm-hmm. So that could be where this could be, because it's 1940. Or it could be up at the cemetery. We just don't know. Here's my father. I can't see it. My Aunt Peep, I think. And here's my mother right here. What's interesting about our cemetery, though, about the St. Saba Cemetery, is that when they first had the cemetery, each man was supposed to cut down five or seven trees for every person in their family. Well, my Uncle Chappie came home from the CCC. That's a Conservation Corps. Did you ever hear about that? The CCC camps, mm-hmm. where they would take, because people were starving, they were very poor, they would take one person from every family and take them to the CCC camps. Mm. They would give them $25 a month, but besides room and board, but they never got to see the $25. They only got to see $5. $20 was sent home to the family. So, anyhow, my Uncle Chappie was real strong because they were always chopping down trees wherever they were. And so he came home, and he not only did for him and my blind Uncle Steve, my Uncle Joe joined him, but also they made it for their father Nicola, and then as a extra, they did it for every one of the sisters in his family too. Mm-hmm. So for my mother, by Aunt Peep, and my Aunt Beautiful. Rose, and Aunt Marty. Mm-hmm. So I always loved that story, because when I go to the cemetery, immediately I see that it's all cleaned out. But Uncle Chappie was one of the persons to do that. And Uncle Chappie was a big hero in World War II. Mm. Yeah. and in Korea. He got for in the Korean War. He got the Silver Star and the Distinguished Service Cross. That's only second to the uh, Congressional Medal of Honor.
Wow.
And yeah, here's another thing I want to say. Serbs were always very proud of the fact that despite the population, they had like the most medals. They were the most heroic of all the other nationalities. They're known for their heroism in the war. Uh, every year,
That's the famous photo.
yeah, every year they used to have Serbian Day at Kennywood. This was started to raise the money for the Serbian orphans from World War One and everything. And it was very successful. Every year we went there. Well, one time I went to the Heinz History Center with my library class, and everybody was walking through room for room. This is before it officially opened, and we came to this one room, and I'm looking at this and thinking, "Oh, that's a racer. I wonder if I know anybody." And I said, no. And then I'm looking, and I'm thinking, boy, that looks like my grandmother here. But no, it wasn't. It wasn't. And two or three times I went to leave, and I was mad at myself because I kept saying, geez, there's something there pulling me back. And I would turn to leave one more time. And finally, I just said out loud, nobody else was there. All the people had gone on already. I said, what do you want me to see, Bob? I really felt my grandmother's presence. And then all of a sudden, I saw that this person was my Aunt Peep, and this is my mother sitting next to her.
Oh
After I did this, after yelling for everybody to come back, I want to show you something. And then I was able to identify some more people down here. This was definitely Serbian Day at Kennywood.
Beautiful.
And then what else do I have? This one you saw when this is when the rug first came. We had it in our dining room when we lived at 136 Kenny Drive, and then you know uh, Father Branislav Golic bought our house. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, but that's where this was in this picture right here. So this is me, my niece Angela, who's now 44 something, my mom, my sister Alex that just recently died, and my other
Rose.
sister Rose. So yeah. And here's a wonderful picture of my grandmother that my father took. You can see it's like this is, and look at this where she, you could tell that she paid her admission at the picnic ground. We talked about the Gusler.
Mm-hmm.
Let me move this here. Here's a wonderful picture of my grandmother, and Albert Seitz. Albert Seitz was a colonel who wrote the book called Mihailovich and I love this story. He was talking to Mihailovich about Thanksgiving and how American Thanksgiving was coming up. And I guess Draža had told him about how they celebrate the Slavas. And so Draža asked him to tell him more about Thanksgiving. And he told him everything he could. And he says, tomorrow, which would be Thanksgiving for Albert Seitz, we will celebrate your Thanksgiving, your Slava. And so they had a real nice meal the next day, and Albert Seitz, this colonel, was very happy about that. But he says, we're not finished yet. And then he gave a signal, Draža gave a signal, and all of a sudden, there was a big A lit up on a hill for America. And then another A, all fire burning. and another until there, I think there were 11 or 14, I can't remember right off the top of my head, fire burning with a A for
Wow.
America. Is that powerful?
Beautiful.
I love our history.
Beautiful.
It's just so amazing. And then what my grandmother's showing him is my Uncle Chappie's
The
medals.
medals.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, here's here's an older picture of my Baba Anja. I think this is probably from 1937. And this is important because this is about the age when she started writing all her memoirs. And every day she wrote a diary so that I know almost day by day what happened in our family life, or if anybody died, or if any christening, or any very special holiday, it was always written up by my Baba. What year was this made? 2003. 2003. Okay. I have this little CD from 2003 that had the 72 years of singing for the Serbian Singing Federation. And here, of course, is Vlajko Lugonja, who started this in America. Um, and I have a diary of my mother where she was, when they went around and they formed the Philip Visnich Choir from St. Sava's. The reason why this is so important to me is because my mother is on here. Oh, here she is. Here she is, right here. I loved it.
Beautiful.
And my Aunt Marty is on there too, and my Aunt Millicent. So I was very pleased with that. Let me show you some of my grandmother's diaries. There used to be a big CEO from Sears named Mike Bozick. He and I grew up together, even though he lived in Clairton. We went to Pitt together. He taught me how to play the guitar, etc. He went all the way up from the ranks to being the head of Sears, and then afterwards in different places. But he asked me if I knew anything about when he was christened. And I found, of course, I was able to find it April 7th, um, everything about him and about Hitler, when Hitler bombed the Serbs and stuff. But anyway, also I have here 19, for if you look for my birthday, which was July 30th, right here. Let me move this here. Sada je 4:30, ja sam ustala rano, zato pa idemo raditi. So Uncle Pi was going to work. Ja po kući spremam, she's working around the house. Milica se spremila da ide u Westinghouse. It's Westinghouse, u Westinghouse. Ali su joj kazali da nema žene koju bi ona htjela vidjeti, but there was nobody that was there that she wanted to go see. Ona je prošla kod Latinka. They went to Latinka's house. Kazala da je Latinka jako bolesna. That's me, my mother. She's real sick. U meni je moje srce uvela, ali moram se durati. Hvala Bogu da je Milica kod kuće. Ona ode kod nje. She only had to go like a half a block. But anyhow, Milica je došla u 2 sata, malo kasnije, i kaže da je Latinka dobila bebu i da je sve jako dobro. Hvala Bogu, samo kad je to sve bilo brzo, gotovo, moja je Milica došla, lećela i dela, ja sam išla tamo, sve izgleda jako dobro, Latinka i beba beba važe 8 funti, so I was 8 pounds.
Oh my God.
8 puti i po, 8.5.
Wow.
Jako
It's
lepa
4 kilos.
bebe. Bila je Marta kod Latinka, Milica je ocela spavati, tamo ja mislim da je sada ovdje moja ruža, bilo bi lepo, ona se doctorica, my poor Aunt Rose, she died from TB, she was going to the doctors. But anyway, then
Can you? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can you read us that one when the war started in Serbia and
it was at
Yugoslavia?
it was at April 6th.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That would be beautiful. That's
Okay.
your impression when you heard about the bombing of Belgrade in Yugoslavia.
What day was it? They bombed.
April 6th.
April 6th. Okay, so
But
it might be the next
was
day. Okay, April
Pascha.
6th. Okay. Danas je sveta Mati nedjelja. She always said that about her church on Sunday.
Yeah.
Ja sam rano ustala, ja sam spremala u mater crkvu i Nikola, Eni, moga Stevana, mi smo se spremamo za pričast, da še pobedimo i Gospoda Bogu i molimo. So you see, she was a very religious person. She loved her church and her
But
God.
it was Pascha that day. Yeah.
Bogu pomolimo, naš vozi Marta, Milica ostaje kod kuće kuvati užinu. U crkvi nije moglo lepše biti i bilo dosta naroda. Vidjela sam dosta prijateljica i kumova, mi smo došli kući, Milica naš lepo dočekala, poslije užine mi idemo u Oakland. This is, where Oakland, where Pitt.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oakland, na veliki koncert. Nije mogla biti lepše i sveta više i tu sam vidjela dosta prijatelja. Mene je Marta i Paj kući dovezli i oni su prošle i otac Petković na krštano komstvo. So this is the day that they went to church, then they went to that big concert in Oakland, then they went to Clairton where Aunt Marty and Paul were the kumovi for Mike Bozick. Došao kod nas Mr. Muslin, mi smo dugo razgovarali, Pa i Marta došli u 2:30 a.m. Mi idemo spavati. But wait, here she has it over here, where she said proklet Hitler. Where is that? Maybe this
That was
one.
the day when the World War started in Yugoslavia, when Belgrade was bombed, but they didn't know yet.
Here it is. It's the next day. That's right. They didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so Monday, April 7th. Rano sam ustala, idi raditi, mi po kući spremamo, došla Mr. Vukalić kod nas u gosti, mi smo dugo razgovarali, ona je prošla, a ja opet pomalo po kući spremamo i slušam ovo tužne i žalosne vesti iz staroga kraja, što radi prokleti Hitler od naroda, ali mu se Srbin neće popustiti makar i malo sve iz jednoga. Srbin je mnoga muke pretupila muški i junaci, Bog će dati, pa će tako i sade. Bog, he helped before and he's going to help again. Yeah. Preći preko svega, mi smo večeli lepo, ali Marta ne fila dosta dobro. Ona je previšla i morna i ja idem kod Conley, ali mi nemamo kod kući. Bila sam malo kod kume svake There goes Swear. But that the main part is about Hitler, about
Yes, yes.
Prokleti Hitler.
Let me take a video of that.
Yeah.
Monday,
like,
April 7th.
Isn't that something, huh?
Beautiful.
I just anything you want to know, it's in here.
Yeah.
Now wait, you're gonna love this here part about that christening. Her oldest was Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe, but he did the he was everything. He was also a big foreman in a mill. And you know how it is with the firstborn and everything like that. She thought the world of him.
I'm a firstborn.
Yeah.
I understand.
But he did the unconscionable. He married Catholic, and oh my God, watch this. So this is my christening, okay, on August 17th.
What year?
1941.
Okay.
August 17th, 1941. Danas je svati mati nedelja, ja sam rano ustala, niko ne radi, ja idem kod moja beba. Danas rano krste se malo beba. Bebina Marta ode pod oca Petković za mašinom. She had the machine, so the automobile, so she's going to go pick up the priest. Mi smo bili tamo dok se beba krstila. Bilo je jako lepo. Marta je pevala, a me nisu suze skakala na oči, ali nisam pokazala. Volim da moga Marta, she wanted Aunt Marty, who was married for a long time without any children, but all of a sudden they did have Paul, so that was great. But she says she's crying because Josip i volimo da moja Marta Josip i imaju djeca. Svu Amerika, daj Bože, da i bude i malo. Vidjela sam okay. Now, she didn't talk to Uncle Joe for a long time, for 2 weeks, which was absolutely amazing.
What?
For something. But watch what happens. So, because Uncle Joe lived on the same block, so she's coming home from 2618 Carrie. He lived at 26, maybe 30 or something like that. But watch, after not speaking to him for 2 weeks. Vidjela sam Josipa. Na ubio jako smo lepo razgovorili. Josefina je jako dobro, još bi bila bolje ako bude mogla na katolički veruju da krsti Maju Josipu. She said something. She says, yeah, mene neće ni moja familija, a ona na tom radi teško, mi je srce, ali se moram durati. That's something.
So cute, huh?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was such a bad thing. If anybody they didn't marry a Serb.
Oh my God.
But interesting that I have these beautiful, beautiful memories of everything. So anything, like people call me up and they ask me, they say, do you have anything about my uncle or my aunt or my grandparents? And I can go there and find out what happened. If not that day, like you said, because the news didn't travel that fast, 2 or 3 days later.
Yeah. You see that with the World War I and World War II, the day after the bombing, they got the news.
Yep.
It was fast.
Prokleti Hitler. I love it.
Hitler. That could be a punchline.
Yeah. Don't you love how she says, but the Serbs never gave up, and then God will
and they
God
stand
will provide.
mushki.
Yeah.
Let's make a break, okay?
Yep.